My name is Katie Barber, and I'm the Student Services Coordinator at Creator Renaissance Academy in Central Point, Oregon. I love the teachers. The instructors are experts in their field. They're leaders in their field. They're passionate, and they want to pass on their knowledge, and they want to see something really great grow in terms of leadership in our state. So I really love the teachers. I love my university supervisor. She's there for me. She is a great person to ask for help and resources, and sometimes even extended time on things when things get really crazy at work. But just a lot of support and really passionate, inspiring people. I think it was a little, as with many situations, just getting to know people at first is a little awkward. But the more we got to interact with each other online, and each time we got to meet at one of the conferences, you get a little closer and you start building some networks. And I'm looking forward to knowing these people in the future and kind of seeing where we go. I definitely learned the most in the school finance class, but I think even though that was a course that a lot of people struggled with, I think coming from teaching, that's something that we don't know much about. And so that was probably one of the reasons that was a struggle, but a good struggle because I learned a lot. And I also learned how much I need to learn about school finance. Yeah. I had some initial equity training through the Coalition of Essential Schools when we were going through our conversion process from a comprehensive high school into a small school. But once the grant money ran out, we weren't able to continue with that training, and so this has been really powerful training. So some of the pieces are recognizable from things that I've done earlier, but I don't know if you can ever say you're finished with equity training. I think it's something that you have to continue. Because it's people work, and that's just ongoing. So I've been really appreciative of our time with Carmen and John, and being able to have some of these courageous conversations. And I think it's a really essential component to this program, and I'm really glad that that's going to be expanded upon in future cohorts. I really appreciate the internship component to this. I know that that's something that's been a struggle for a lot of administrators in the past, trying to figure out how do I get enough hours to be able to be licensed while also still working full-time. I can't imagine how people have done that in the past. Being able to have the internship time has afforded me opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to have if I was working full-time and trying to do this. And it's helped move my staff and my building forward this year. Really getting a chance to delve deeply and look critically at what best practice is pertaining to school leadership. So I really appreciate the internship component.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Donte Seal. I'm the Dean of Students at Milwaukee High School, and my favorite part of the program so far, now that we're almost done, has been the equity work and the meetings that we've been doing over the course of the year, meeting at the different COSA events with our cohort, and with going through coaching for educational equity.
Have you had any kind of the equity training before? Anything
I have.
To this?
So I did go through CFE training back in 2011, and do equity work within my school district, but initially I was unsure about having to go through it all again, but it's been really valuable. It's been, you never arrive. You never can check the box and say you know it all, and so it's been a great reflective opportunity to discover more about myself and to grow even deeper in this work. I like online classes. I like flexibility, being able to do stuff when I can get it done. And so having two young kids and working and trying to coach soccer and all of the stuff that entails being dean of students with really busy schedules, having online classes with coursework that allows you to kind of I'm a night person, so cranking out stuff at midnight works for me, and so the traditional classroom wasn't going to work. Through the online discussion stuff, which I was a little hesitant. I'm not really a techie person, so I don't have a Facebook or a blog or Instagram kind of stuff, and then the coursework makes you kind of blog and interact, which was a new experience for me, and it was worthwhile. Once you got over kind of the weirdness of kind of like online diarying, I guess is how I'd put it, an online journal. It was very fruitful, and you got we've been going back and forth now at these discussions with these people for a year or so, though I only have gotten to hang out with them maybe 4 or 5 times over the course of the year in person. I feel like I know them really well because we've been sharing our experiences weekly, 2-3 times a week. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, really good.
The COSA staff have been really helpful. They're really accessible. Trina and Cheryl and everyone have been really supportive, and they're really accessible. And whenever you have a question, they get back to you right away. Trina is a surefire whiz at the email and getting back to you with any questions you have. And so that's been very comforting, as you're kind of walking through a process that you're not familiar with, and kind of the scary, all the paperwork that you're going to have to do when you get to the end of this program, knowing that you have that support, and not only that you're going to have that support while you're in this cohort, but they're going to support you when you're done too. So that's appreciative.
My name is Shelby DiFonzo. I work for Ontario School District, 0.5 FTE, where I am the District Learning Specialist, as well as the RTI coach for Ontario. I'm also the autism consultant and a number of other things. I work out of our district office. And then I work 0.5 for the state of Oregon. I am an Oregon RTI implementation coach. So I had been tossing around, going back to school to get my initial administrator license for a number of years. And I had actually contacted Trina last year and inquired about the COSA program and decided to put it off for another year. And so in the fall of 2016, or in the spring of 2016, I contacted her again, and she said, we have this brand new program, would you be interested in it? And I said, absolutely. I think what really spoke to me, being from Eastern Oregon, it was very important to me to have an online learning forum to go through that. I'm very busy. I travel a lot for my job. I have 2 kids. I have a very busy husband. And so the online piece really spoke to me. I also was very interested in working with professors and superintendents from around the state. That's part of my job within Oregon RTI, and so that also really spoke to me, as just getting different perspectives. I really felt like what was asked of us, the projects we did, it was very applicable to real life. I did not feel like we ever did busy work. In fact, I tell the story in last summer we did I think through our initial class, we had to put together like a crisis plan. And so I put that together, and then this past fall I was subbing in for one of our principals in our district who was gone, and we had a crisis that happened. And so I was able to mentally in my mind go through all those steps in my crisis plan that I had already outlined and move forward with that. And I think that it really gave me something to hold on to rather than just getting really nervous and being worried. It happened very quickly, and I had something to hold on to, and I appreciated that. So I appreciated the projects we did. I felt they were very real life, and they gave us some good experiences. No, I think that the biggest thing for me that was difficult, and this is very unique to me, is that I work as a TOSA out of our district office, and so it was a little bit more unique for me, and at time felt a little forced to go into a building setting, but I also recognize the requirements of the program and understand that I was a very unique case. I appreciated it being in a condensed year format, even though I'm very tired. I'm looking forward to May and being able to watch some TV and take a nap. I appreciated the quickness and the rigor of the program. I felt like it was really great. I look forward to coming back within the next few years and working on my continuing administrator license. Absolutely. I felt like I got a great experience. I've talked to friends both locally in Eastern Oregon as well as across the state that have done other programs, and I felt like we got a top-notch experience. I'd very much recommend it to anybody else.
Okay, my name is Ruiz, and I am a Salem Kaiser employee. I am a high school Spanish teacher, and I am a middle school administrative intern through the COSA program. I decided to enroll in the COSA program because I really wanted to polish up my leadership skills and abilities, and it was just an ideal situation, a very unique one, that I could be interning, so I could be a learner, and at the same time I could continue teaching, so it just seemed like a great setup for me. I loved the coursework. Obviously everything was new, so learning about budget, about leadership, and just really connecting a lot of those experiences that I have in the classroom to actual leadership, leading a school. And I loved the internship part, which really allowed me to practice and get a lot of hands-on practical stuff as an intern, leading, collaborating with teachers, and still getting to have the contact with students and build in relationships. It was, for me, I had a very unique one because I was in my building teaching and I was in a different school for my internship. So it was challenging to navigate both, being at one building one day and then not being there the next day. If I could, I loved, there was a lot of strings to that too, because it was experiencing a whole new different building, a different population, and so even though it was challenging, I think it was powerful to have the 360 view of a school, and then to go back in the classroom and be a teacher and lead by example. So it was it was an enrichment opportunity to have the best of both worlds, to be an outsider and then be an insider. Yeah, I had an opportunity to really use my assets in instructional leadership, so helping to plan PD and deliver PD. So those are particular areas that I was really looking forward to. In the area of discipline, which I normally don't get to spend too much time looking at the multiple challenges that kids face in the classroom, and to be an outsider to that, and then to go back in the classroom as a teacher and deal with my own behavioral world and challenges. It gave me a lot of practical ways to just work on being a better listener, so working on my listening skills, working on just providing kids with different ways to cope with challenges they have in the classroom, and how to better handle situations. I think I really valued the work around equity, so having the sessions as part of the program, and I've had some equity experiences in my own district, and I've learned that despite having exposure to that, it's always an ongoing thing, and it's always a learning opportunity. So anytime that I see equity work and discourse around that, I get really excited, because it's an opportunity for me to continue to self-evaluate, and then to go back into the workforce and practice all those, the equity lens that I can bring to the job.
Okay, my name is Childress. I'm a science teacher and IB coordinator at Gresham High School, and I'm doing the COSA Leading for Learning administrative internship. Well, I was looking at getting my administrator license, and I actually talked to a woman at Portland State who told me about a program that was funded by Chalkboard, and then I went back and talked to my district administrator, and he got me signed up for this because apparently we were connected with the COSA one, not the Portland State model. So I kind of fell into it, honestly.
Nice.
I enjoyed I learned a lot on the online classes from the blogs and having the same group of people in that group, because I also took some other courses through Concordia where I didn't know the other people in the classes, and it wasn't as fun or as enriching or interesting to me. So, because they were complete strangers, but to know that Carlos was saying this, or so April, I mean, it was good.
So the chance that you had to get together with them, even though infrequently,
Yep.
really added to the online experience.
Absolutely, and meeting these days are the most fun part of the whole project, and I would love to see them do that more. I would be interested in that, but you know, we started the blogs before we met each other, and then meeting each other, I think it made a huge difference.
Nice.
I thought it was all pretty interesting. A lot of things I didn't know. I had no idea the funding structure of schools. And so I was pleased to see we have this equity model. I had a completely different view of what I thought was happening. All the courses, when I start them, I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through all of this? But there's not been one assignment where I thought that was a waste of time. They were challenging and required that I put in a lot. You couldn't just fake it. You really had to work, and that's why I think I learned so much. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, there was definite rigor to it that I was surprised by. I thought it was going to be easy, and it wasn't easy. It was hard. And I think as a teacher, you have a misconception that administrators don't really know much more than you, and I know way more than what I knew before. So it helps. I don't know if it helps or not, but I do know more. Now I'm nicer to administrators.
Okay. I'm Tamika Hampton, a behavior specialist at Leslie Middle School in Salem-Keizer School District. Originally, I saw the advertisement that was sent out through our district email, and I felt like it was a really good opportunity because we were going to be doing the internship while we were doing the coursework, and it was a half-time opportunity, so we would have half-time on-the-job training, and half-time we'd be in a position like behavior specialist, which is still on-the-job training because you're learning how to process referrals and you're really a part of the admin team. I think my favorite part of the program is actually the equity training. It's work that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about making sure that students of color are able to access the same opportunities as their peers. And so the equity work that we did, the training, just gave me the words to use. It empowered me to have those controversial conversations with staff and parents that I have shied away from in the past. So. The law class was the most interesting. I have a special ed background, so I really am interested in making sure the school laws are being followed and students' rights are being observed. So the law class was very interesting to me. I enjoyed reading the case studies. I enjoyed the discussion boards and hearing how other people, my colleagues, interpreted the law. So that part was extremely interesting. I love that class. During the time that we were actually getting ready to take the law class, we attended a law conference. So we we kind of got a little bit of a head start on that, I would say. So not exactly as much interaction as I would like. I actually would love to have more face-to-face time with my my cohort, because they're a great group of people. They are super intelligent. They have vast experiences that I can learn from. So I love to have more time with them. But just reading their perspectives on how the law is interpreted and reading their examples from their district was really interesting for me. One of the things that I asked, I wrote in one of the evaluations is, it would be really nice if we could have some, not pre-work, but if we could get some front loading for the budget class. That class, the finance class, was pretty difficult. I mean, because I didn't have any background with budgeting. I hadn't done anything with budgeting in the school district. So I felt like some face-to-face time with the teacher, who I understand is like the Oregon guru in that area. So I would love to just have her come in and talk to us in one of the classes and just kind of front-loaded some information that would help us to understand the budgeting class a little bit better. I mean, I found it very difficult to find people in my district who were a resource. I mean, we have a whole department on finance in our district, but for the most part, the principals, they don't do a whole lot with budgeting. So I just didn't have the resources I needed to get a good understanding of it. So yeah, having some front loading in that area would help. No, I think it was a great program. It was a great opportunity. I'm just very grateful that I was chosen. So yeah,
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you.